lovely people. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are in my garden for the end of summer garden update. I am really proud of myself because for the last like 5 months I have been posting monthly garden updates to my YouTube channel, and so you guys have been with me all season from the very beginning when it was still cold outside and we were just starting seeds indoors, to the chaos of bringing them outside, to getting some harvest, to now, which will still be harvesting a little and tending to some things, but for the most part the garden is really self-sufficient and it's doing its own thing. I don't have a ton of goals for today, but I do want to do some garden chores just to set the garden up for success as we transition from summer to fall. There are some landscaping chores that I need to do just around my property in general, and then we have some cleaning up of some things to do in the garden. And I'm really on the fence about planting some seeds for some fall crops, only because part of me just feels like I'm not gonna take care of them. Like, let's be honest, like I really don't know if I'll take care of them. So I don't know if I want to plant anything else, but maybe I will just for the plot. I don't know, but I'm being honest with you guys. I am definitely feeling that end of the season drab, and I don't want to give myself more work that I know I'm not going to keep up with. So the first thing I'm noticing I need to take care of is my little watermelon cage right here. This guy. Let me show you the issue right now. So this is my watermelon cage. It is a very, very large pot that I planted my watermelons in, and then I wrapped the whole thing in chicken wire so that the squirrels wouldn't steal my watermelon babies, because they stole one at the beginning of the season when it was only like this big. And so I had to protect my kids. But here's the issue. Can you see this little fella? Let me get you closer. There have been 3 melons growing in here. There's one in the background there, and then there's one here, and this third one right there, right? I just noticed we got a 4th guy trying to grow in, and look at where it chose to grow. What in the world? And it's stuck like that now. It literally grew inside of this goddamn hole. So let me go grab my wire cutters and we're gonna try and free this bad boy so that it can grow. I don't have high hopes for him because it is September, but we'll let you thrive. We'll let you thrive. Let's also take a note at how much this watermelon plant grew. Look at this. Look at that little baby. Are there more? I can't believe it's getting another round of growth. Okay, this vine, where are you going? Where are you going? It's attached itself. Oh my God, and it got the nerve. Why would you be growing so many more babies this time of year? Like, look at that. A 3rd baby. So we need to get these vines inside of the cage. Okay, I've done it. I have redirected all of those rogue vines back into the cage with all of their babies on it. And hopefully they stay in there. It looks like I have some powdery mildew popping up on some of these leaves. So I'm gonna trim those off. And this pumpkin is pretty close. It's almost all orange, and these are also gonna be small. These are pie pumpkins, so that's like the size it's gonna be. I noticed there are two growing on the ground down here as well. And this vine goes all the way that way. This is the only pumpkin that I actually grew myself and planted. The other pumpkin plants that I have in the garden, like this one and the one that is growing on that side, are mysteries to me. They grew on their own. They are leftover from last year's carnage of squirrels that ate all the pumpkins. So I don't know if this is going to be the same thing that I had here last year, which was like giant jack-o'-lanterns, which definitely I'm not going to get any because there are, I think there's one little one going so far right here. That's not going to, I don't believe that this is going to make it before winter personally, but we shall see, because they didn't make it before winter last year either, and the squirrels ended up eating them during a like snowy day, and they ate them like green. They never became orange. Yeah, I don't know what this is gonna be. It has a lot of flowers on it though. But everything is just growing so late into the season. Look at that bee. Oh my god, he's covered in pollen. What a cutie. I don't think you'll be able to see it. This camera isn't meant for that type of detail. But this bee is like covered in pollen. Practically gold. Oh, that's my bunny friend. I named it Buffy. Buffy's cool. Me and Buffy hang out. And they let me get pretty close. And they just stay there. Eating their weeds. Okay. My tomatoes, I really hope they turn red before the season ends. There are a lot of them on here, but they're all green. Maybe I'll make some fried green tomatoes today, so I can get at least some type of satisfaction. We have been eating these guys, but they are quite small. I think we've gotten about 10 of these this summer. Not a lot. I only have the 3 tomato plants. My trellis looks haunted. It is lopsided as well, the arch. The archway never came to fruition because the cucumbers that I planted just never grew upwards. They're kind of bushy. I was not expecting that, but this is actually my first time growing pickling cucumbers, like that specific variety. I think in the past I've just grown regular cucumbers and pickled them, but look at how like crispy and like short that plant is. And they are producing cucumbers. Like, see? They are producing cucumbers. And there's another one here. And I have made 3 jars of pickles so far this summer, but they never got tall. So this dream never came to fruition. And so it's time to remove this dead stuff. I'm going to harvest the seeds and we'll replant them. We'll replant the pea seeds. Here's a pod right here, trapped in a spider web, which is so spooky. But there's seeds in here. And what's nice about letting the pod dry on the vine is that these seeds are ready to go because they've already dried out. We got 5 little seeds from that. Nice. I just spotted another pumpkin baby next to the one that I already knew existed. There's one that wants to grow there too. These are not gonna get jack-o'-lantern size. Like last year, they got huge. Like, think like bigger than a soccer ball. But they just never got orange. Bummer. Okay, next step is propagating strawberries, which I have never done before, but my strawberry beds have exploded with growth over the last couple of months, like triple, maybe quadruple the amount of plants. It is incredible. So I'm gonna propagate some into some pots, and with the hopes of moving a lot of strawberries over into this bed as well. And I'm gonna grab some of the pots out of my little cutie cabinet. So I think I've done about 20 pots of starters. I think I'm gonna add these bad boys everywhere. I may end up putting some in my front yard landscaping too, because why not? you know? There are less squirrels up there. So I'm just giving them a really, really generous water. I did less in this bed because this bed is not as stuffed as this one. Like this one is overgrown. So I did majority of the pots over here. Especially in this little corner and along this side. And also over here. The sun is so hot. The lighting is not awesome right now. But this is when I'm gardening, so here we are. Can't do nothing about the sun. This is my little berry harvest today. The most I've gotten at one time so far this season was like 10, which was awesome. And with all of these new shoots, next year we're going to be drowning in strawberries. I'm so excited. I got a nice little handful of green and purple beans. The purple beans, I got the seeds from my friend Katie, who has her own little micro farm in Utah. I'm obsessed with sniffing my lavender plants on my porch. Oh my God. It's like free aromatherapy. I just run my hands. Best little $5.99 plant I ever bought, and it's doubled in size just this season. So I can't even imagine how big this is going to be next year, because it is a perennial, so it will continue to thrive and come back every year. But let's go ahead and shift to flowers since we're talking about that. I have done this multiple years in a row now, but I like to harvest the dead heads of my marigolds to save the seeds to replant for next year. All the marigolds that are out here right now, I planted from seed using this exact technique last year. So I'm really proud of myself, honestly. I'm gonna pat myself on the back. You buy one tray of marigolds for $3.99. That's like 6 or 8 plants, and then you have seeds forever because it gives you so many. Let me show you. I had multiple varieties of marigolds. This is the yellow one. They grow kind of short and bushy, and as you can see, there's a lot of them that are alive, but then there are a lot of them that are dead, like this. So I remove the heads, and there are lots of seeds in here. All right, I'm gonna show you over this plate how the seeds come out. So if I crack open the flower head, all of these are seeds. All of these little black sticks are seeds. All of that is seeds. And then you just have the shell of the flower head left over. So as you can see, just from this one flower head, I have probably 30 seeds, maybe more. They look like this. That's a seed. That's a petal. We don't care about the color. That's a petal. That's a seed. Yeah, got about like, what, 20 or 30 of those from one flower head. Mind you, I got about 20 or 30 dead heads here. So we're gonna have a lot of yellow marigolds, and they're so pretty. This one I do not believe is yellow. I believe this tall one is orange because I did also plant orange marigolds. None of my orange marigolds have bloomed because I believe this pot is all orange, but they've gotten really tall and like tree-like, and it smells amazing. It smells beautiful, but they haven't bloomed yet. And then look at this chunker. This is an orange marigold as well. It is almost touching, it's almost as tall as the string lights, and it is taller than me. It is taller than me now, and I am 5'9", 5'10". I'm 5'10". Look at that. That is crazy. So I am really hoping that these orange marigolds bloom by at least Halloween. Like, that would be really nice. So we don't have any of those to seed save from because we don't have flowers from them. I'm curious to see what the flowers will look like. But for now, let's just pop off these. Some of these are not dried out enough, so I'm gonna let them rock. But I filled 2 tiny jars of deadheads. This one has some already separated seeds on the bottom, and it's already labeled from last year. But I'm gonna actually cut some of these just for decoration in the house, along with some of these zinnias, because I learned that it makes more of them grow. So I already cut a bunch a few weeks ago, and so now I have a whole lot of new growth and new blooms coming out, which is pretty cool. I'm learning new stuff. I'm new to flower growing. I have 2 broccoli plants that are kind of bolting and doing some weird crispy stuff. So I'm gonna give them a haircut and leave them and hope that they give me another round of produce for the fall. Okay, that's much better. And there is already some like little new growth here. So that's good. We'll see if we'll get more broccoli. So I only have one last thing that I want to do to wrap up this end of summer garden chores video, and that is trim down my irises. I did a lot of iris work in my front yard in last month's video, and I did want to do that whole same process again back here, but I just don't feel like it. So I will be digging them up and separating them out in the fall, but for now I think just to tidy up the way it looks, because the leaves are just like flopping everywhere, and it's actually starting to get some new growth, believe it or not, because we're going into like another cooler, like where the summer is leaving, so things aren't being like scorched to death and they want to grow again. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and give it a haircut like I did all the ones out front and leave it at that for now, because I'm not even really sure where I want to spread them all out to yet, and I haven't thought that far ahead, so that'll be a chore for another day. Okay, I think that is it for the day. That's really all that I have in me. I am over it and I need to go clock in and get some work done. But I wanted to show you guys like what the garden is looking like at the end of the summer. We're doing pretty good given, you know, all the setbacks we had at the beginning of the season. And I'm really excited about what we're doing going into fall, because I have some things I'm going to be adding to the garden that I'm excited about. So next month's video should be a little more eventful when it comes to like the work we're doing. So I'm excited, and I hope that you guys are having a good garden season so far, and I want to know what you guys are harvesting, what you've been cooking with. Let me know if you want to see a video about how I like use the vegetables and stuff at like in my kitchen. Like, what am I making with it, how am I eating them, how am I preparing or preserving them. Let me know if you're interested in that type of thing, and I will happily share it. But yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching till the end. You are a real one, and I'll see you later. Bye.